First things first, the player and his caddy are responsible for knowing all the rules of the player and the penalties for breaking those rules. If a player is discovered to have more than one caddy, he must get rid of all of them besides one. And if he is discovered to have more than one throughout the rest of the game, he will be disqualified. Now we will talk about responsibilities of the ball. Each player is responsible for their own ball. Each player should also put an identification marker on their ball. If a player arrives to a game 5 minutes late and he's playing a match game, he will automatically lose the first hole. And if he's playing a stroke play, he will lose the first 2 strokes. Now we're going to talk about scorecards. At the end of each hole, markers should record the player's score. After the game is complete, the player should check his scorecard, settle any doubtful points with the committee, have the appropriate number of markers sign the card, and then sign the card themselves. And finally, hand it in to the committee.
So what if my score is different than the marker's score on my card?
If the score is lower than was actually recorded, the player is automatically disqualified. However, if the score is higher than it was actually recorded, then the score will stand. The player must play at a pace established by the committee. If the player delays play intentionally, then he will suffer penalties. These penalties for a match game include the loss of a hole, and for a stroke play will result in the loss of 2 strokes. If these penalties continue, the player will be disqualified. Lastly, we're going to talk about the discontinuance of play. The player is not allowed to stop playing unless the committee has suspended play or other extenuating circumstances exist. If a player does not stop playing, he will be disqualified. However, if the player is in the middle of a hole, he is allowed to finish playing, but he must stop immediately. Once play has finally resumed, the player must place his ball on its original location if he has lifted the ball. Failure to do this will either result in the loss of a hole in match play, or else the loss of 2 strokes into stroke play.